I would like to get a show of hands first. How many here are students? Plenty, okay, cool. Do you ever face this daunting question? What is your life's purpose or your life's goal? Do you ever get that daunting question? Well, I'm here to talk to you not about such a daunting question like that, but actually I'm here to talk to you about living life every day with a purpose. Purposeful living or a purposeful lifestyle. When I was 10 years old, like any other 10-year-old, I had this perfect plan that I was going to go to school, go to college, go to university, get a job, get married, get 3 kids. I had it all covered. But then when I hit college, something called life hit me in the face. It wasn't really life, it was more like A-level chemistry. But anyway, I decided to take a break, and I needed that breather to kind of, think about why I was doing things. Why I want to talk to you about purpose today is because that's the #1 question we always ask ourselves in every activity we do. Why? It's because we're always searching for meaning, and meaning equals fulfillment. And when you find something fulfilling to do, then that's something worth striving for, right? Well, when I decided to take this breather, that was in 2013. Well, it's 2015 now, I'm still kind of on that breather. But I was kind of bumming around looking for something to do, trying to find out what was my calling in life, per se. And I decided to look for avenues where I could find my purpose. I was always questioning what is my purpose. And my purpose, or rather my avenue of purpose, came through a very beautiful woman. And this is Ron. She was a mutual friend of mine, and she has been working for a non-profit social enterprise, and she was doing several projects in a very place that's really close to here, which is called Bario. Anybody here been to Bario? Oh, excellent. Yes. Okay, Bario, if you don't know where it is, it's off Miri. It's only 1 hour by plane. And it's the home of the community of the Kelabits. Kelabits are a very rich culture, the Kelabit community or the Orang Ulu community. And it's located about 3,000 feet above sea level. And they have a very rich culture and wonderful people. And the population right now is only about 1,000. And a lot of things that happen, per se, like the normal fears of out-migration of people to go out and work in the city. Besides that, there's always the question about the culture. Will it be preserved in the future? Will it be taken over by the younger generation? And Ron had this wonderful idea that she was going to really address that situation. She wanted to start up a project to increase the socio-economic status of the women in particular in Bario. And why Bario is because they have such great ecotourism potential due to its natural flora and fauna, and also the rich culture and the stories that needed to be told of the local people. And she was basically looking for a partner in crime to start up this project with her. And she posted up this job application on Facebook, and she posted it on many youth forums, and she didn't get a response. But I was always looking into something to do with education or community development, and I decided to take this up because it just might be the thing I'm looking for. And we combined ideas, and I took it up with her, and we brainstormed, and really ideas became a reality, and we came up with Project We. Project We's aim was very simple in the beginning. Our aim was to go to Bario and recruit a bunch of youth participants to go there and train the ladies of Bario how to speak English so that they could earn an income through ecotourism by becoming homestay operators or community guides. And we had this plan really solidly planned out. We had all the backup, we had all the plans nicely laid out, all the foundations laid. But it wasn't so easy to start, and we had a lot of difficulties actually starting it up. Merely because a lot of people say that this project was destined to fail. When we explained the concept of the project, it was really new and fresh. The whole concept of what we're going to do is we were going to recruit youth participants from all over the country, and we were going to send them up in batches to Bario, And the concept was very unusual. We were going to assign one particular participant with a local lady. They will follow her on her daily activities and help her in her daily activities, such as farming, agriculture, cooking, cleaning, whatever. But at the same time, they'll be coaching her about English communication so that she can handle a tourist on her own in the future. And starting off this project was really difficult, and a lot of people said we were destined to fail. And even though we had it all laid out, I don't know if I understand this, but from the outsider's point of view, we were two 19-year-olds trying to set up a big-scale, long-term rural development program with little or no experience. And we did have to learn the hard way about many, many things. But I think the bigger reason why a lot of people didn't support it initially was that it was a very fresh and new concept of a teaching and learning program. And it's really funny because despite today being the era where they constantly promote young people to do innovative things, creative thinking, young people going out there and doing new startups, new ideas, I find the fear of failure is still much bigger than the ambition of trying something new. And on top of that, I also had a lot of personal difficulties because family support, people telling me why you're not going into university, why are you running around in the jungles of Borneo, very, very ignorant questions I was getting, and people just didn't understand. And we still persevered because we believed in what we were doing, and we came up with 2 phases of the program. Phase 1 was done in 2014. We sent 3 batches of youth participants for 16 days in May. This was the first batch in May 2014. Second batch in June 2014, and the third in August. The aim of this phase was very simple. It was just really to build the trust and relationships with the local community and to coach them on English and hospitality skills when they need communication with outsiders, i.e. tourists. So for example, this is a picture of one of the participants. Her name is Jane. She's with Tepuk Ratu Aran in the field, and she's planting paddy with her during August planting season. And together they are actually conversing through the day and spending a lot of time with each other. All the activities really depend on season, such as this was clearing of the land in June, and then after that there'll be planting, and after that there'll be harvesting in January. Sometimes it didn't involve much work at all. It was merely just sitting down and conversing with one another. So it was really, really all about building trust and relationships within the community first. After that, we launched phase 2, which was this year, 2015. And the focus of this group, which was sent in first in January, second group in June, and the third group in August. And the focus of this group was really to train and drill the ladies on the specific tourism activities that they will be doing when they take on tourism and on a full scale, on a big scale. And what we did was, after we finished drilling them, we actually brought in what we call testing tourists to really give their feedback and see whether this program was worthwhile and worth their money. So this is an example of a German tourist with a lady called Tepuk Bulan. She's basically taking her all over her paddy field and then to her tapioca and pineapple garden. And as you know, Bario is very famous for their rice and their pineapples. This is Tepuk Ribet. She's doing a wrap rice demonstration, or as they call it, Nubalaya. And so a lot of our activities are all primarily focused to promote the local culture and traditional practices. And as you can see, the boy at the back in gray, he's actually there to prompt her and slowly help her, because that was her very first time she was dealing with a tourist and speaking in English for the first time on a big scale. We also, to formalize what we do, we documented everything that we did. If you can see the lone girl standing there playing with her phone, she's not being rude, rather she is documenting all the notes that are happening on the trails. So we document all the trails that we do and all the highlights that we do, and we produce a proper systematic report. We also promote cultural events, cultural performances and dances and practices. A funny, interesting question that somebody once asked me, they said, why do you focus on the elderly or the older generation when one day they are going to go and the younger kids are going to be the ones that are taking over. I say it's got to start somewhere, and it's got to start with the older generation first, practicing these traditional practices on an active level and a consistent active level, and this will really encourage the younger people to take over, and then it will spiral. This will spiral, and then these practices will continue from next generation, just like this girl here. Just to share with you other activities that we do, we conduct what we call a beauty session for the ladies. Give them a spa, massages, paint their nails, manicures, pedicures, and it's a really great exchange because it's also a very, very humbling experience for city kids such as us to go in there and massage and clean the feet of people who work so hard in the fields every day. We also do our fair bit of community work. We did up a new kindergarten last month. We also changed the ropes on the hiking ropes on their famous Prayer Mountain. And what I'd like to share with you is we always go in there with the right attitude. We are not there to go in and say, hey, English is here to save you. We are here to do such a great job. No, none of that. We go in there with the right attitude of an exchange program. That's why we created it in this kind of form. And so when we go in there to teach, we also go in there to learn from them. And so this is another example of how, by doing it in this kind of platform, we get the privilege of being accepted and welcomed into such a warm community. And we have the privilege of participating in cultural events, and they calling us as one of their own. Although it's very, very easy to spot the foreigner here. It's now the end of phase 2. And I can proudly say that our objectives were achieved. Right now, we have about 4 ladies in the program who are actively running homestays, and another 10 who are doing active community guiding for tourists. And it's really, really great to see the results of a long-term program produce. But that was not the biggest success that we achieved. The mere reason why we chose the method of participants shadowing the ladies is because it was efficient. Secondly, the ladies are all about 50 and above, 50 and above. So you can't put them in a classroom to do teaching. We needed to build trust with them first. So we needed a lot of communication and trust building before we actually went in there to teach. And really the biggest success of this project was the relationships that were formed with the participants and the ladies in such a short time. Phase 1 was 16 days at a time. Phase 2 was 22 days at a time. And really, relationships built were really everlasting. All the emotional connections formed between the two of them, of such different backgrounds, was really, really amazing. And it was really only one solution. It's about relationships and building trust. And that's why I learned when in everything and anything that you want to do, relationships are the key to making a lasting impact. They really are. And if you want to go in anywhere and do something first, it's all about trust. 90% of the job was really about building the trust of the local community. 10% was just doing our job of coaching them English, building up their confidence, drilling them and things like that. That was just 10%. 90% of the work was done by just communication and spending time together. It was not just a one-off thing, but it's really amazing for me from the outside to be able to see how after 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, till this day, they still keep in touch from KL, from wherever they came from, Kuching. We had people from every state we managed to cover. And that's really, really, really taught me the importance of relationship building in life. And really the one thing that could make you really, really happy in this world, I believe, is when you live and do things for others. And that's where you really, truly find fulfillment in life, is when you live for others. I heard someone once say that you really find your greatest purpose when you use what you know or do what you have that's good unto others, and you see the results and changes that happen as a result of what you have done. And I've had the privilege of seeing this happen between all the participants I send up and all the ladies in the program. It truly is amazing. And I'd like to encourage each one of you, if you haven't found anything purposeful to do yet, or you haven't found your life's purpose per se, it's okay. Don't worry. there's still plenty of time, and the world is so big, and there's so many organizations and so many things to join out there. You know, go travel, go meet people, join something, take the leap of faith that I did, that I had no idea I was getting into. And it was the best decision I've ever made. Today, we live in a world where, you know, like I said, we promote innovation, but you'll have a lot of critics. If you truly, truly believe in what you do and you persevere, you will produce results. And in finding your purpose, only then you'll be able to move on to your next chapter. Think of the world as a piece of DIY furniture. Every time you buy a DIY furniture, they always give you the exact number of pieces. There's nothing spare, which means that every single piece has its own purpose. So never think of yourself as a spare part in this world. What is your purpose? Thank you.